Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, your working hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's jump right in. First and foremost, thank you for the upvotes and awards. They're greatly appreciated. I love all the discussions below. There is some food for thought here. To clarify a few things, this took place in Europe. I was a salaried employee, 40 hours per week. I left that job about 10 months after the event took place. I didn't get into trouble and nobody tried to fire me. My probation period was over and we have employment laws regarding constructive dismissal, so I knew their hands were tied. About 4 years back, I started a new banking job. All was well, just that the management was pretty strict with timekeeping, which was weird as we were the back office. My experience was in a similar field at another bank, and we had flexible schedules and received time in lieu. But rules are rules, so I followed them. I learned my tasks and got to know the wider team. Anyway, about 4 months in, I started to realize my senior manager didn't like me. I'm pretty assertive as a person, and I do know how to stand up for myself. He hated it. I would speak up during the meetings, ask questions, give suggestions, and so on, while the team would stay quiet. The week everything went south, I was working overtime, which was obviously unpaid. On Thursday, I did nearly 2 hours of overtime. On Friday, I thought, I'll leave a few minutes early as I was done for the week. My manager was off. I left 10 minutes early. On Monday, I come to work and I got called into a meeting straight away. There were 3 of us in the room, myself, my manager, and my senior manager. Our conversation went as follows. I heard you left work early on Friday. I did. I left 10 minutes early. Did you ask for permission to leave early? It was 10 minutes. You know I did about 4 hours of overtime last week. Why are we having this conversation? Because you left early without asking for permission. As a senior, you should be setting an example for the rest of the team. Is this a joke? Your working hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., not 9 a.m. to 5:50 p.m. You shouldn't leave early without asking for your manager or my permission first. Is that clear? Got it. It's perfectly clear. I listened and started coming into the office at 9 a.m. and leaving at 6 p.m. on the dot. At first, they didn't realize what was happening, but the week after the meeting was the last week of the month. And let's say the last week of the month was intense, especially the final day. The reports had to be completed, signed off, and submitted before the month's end. We covered multiple jurisdictions and would deal with Southeast Asia in the morning and the Americas in the evening. Our team was expected to work overtime due to this. Here comes Friday, the last day of the month, showtime. I'm at my desk at 9 a.m. sharp. Most of the team have already been at the office for at least an hour. I, of course, have a cup of coffee from the cafeteria because I was a bit early. My manager looks at me and raises his eyebrow, but he doesn't say anything. Work, break time. We had 2 20 minutes paid breaks and 1 hour unpaid lunch. I'm the only person to go on my break. Lunchtime. Everyone was eating at their desks while I go to meet my friends for lunch. On the second break, I once again leave my workplace and go for a short stroll around. Back to work. About 5:45 p.m., I get a call from one of the senior managers in the US. She needs the report amended. There were 4 of us on that call. I'm doing the amendments as we speak and closely monitoring the time. I see it's 2 minutes to 6 p.m., 1 minute, 6 p.m. The senior manager is rambling about the report. Apologies, but I have to stop you right here. Yes? It's 6 p.m. here. My day is over. Huh? As per my management, my working hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., so I must leave now. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up on Monday. I logged off, got my coat, wished everyone a great weekend, and left. It was 6:04 p.m. Both my manager and my senior manager were dumbfounded by what had happened, looking pale and staring at me in disbelief. It was a glorious sight. I wanted to apologize to my senior manager that I wasn't able to leave at 6 p.m. on the dot, but I thought that would have been way too passive-aggressive, so I just left. I relaxed the rule a bit after a few months, yet I never did more than 30 minutes of overtime. Ironically, once my stakeholders understood that I would not be available for 10+ hours, they started collaborating earlier in the month. I would have most of my reports done and submitted by the last day of the month. Story number 2. Our customer wants to leave and take the recipe with them. So recently, a customer at my work told us that they were no longer going to use us to manufacture their products for them. We felt this was quite out of the blue, as they had used us for 40 years without any problems. Here's an edit, it's not food, lol. We got over this, however, they then asked us to give them the recipe for their product so they could take it to a competitor to make. Now for context, when they started using us in the 70s and 80s, they provided us with their recipe to make their product the right texture, firmness, and look just how they wanted it. Over the years, we've spent time and money finding new chemicals when certain ones have been discontinued, altering the mix of chemicals so that the products are still how they want them, and developing the recipe further to make it more efficient and provide better results. The way we were making their products now is completely different to how we were at the start. Because of this, my boss was unhappy with what they were asking of us, but complying with their request, he gave them the recipe to their products. The original recipe, that is. It's fair to say that they're not happy that they're going to have to spend their time and money to update it as we have over the last 40 years. Story number 3. I have to wear work clothes in the office after hours. I like to keep fit, so after my workday, I usually go for a run in the nearby park. I have stayed away from gyms, especially during COVID. When my day is over, I slip into the women's room to change and then leave immediately. Except there was this one day a few weeks ago when someone, Becky, on another team was having trouble running macros in Excel. I don't know the specifics of the document, but suffice to say, it was the final piece of the puzzle for a big account. So having changed and on my way out, I hear Becky calling me over and asking for some help before I left. She's a good kid, new to the company, so of course I stopped to explain a few things. That's when her team leader, Lewis, stops me and says that I shouldn't be in the office working in my workout clothes. I'm not wearing anything too immodest, but I am wearing clothes suited for running, so sports bra and shorts. I don't want to brag, but I am in good shape and rather well endowed. Lewis is sort of a middle manager who isn't powerful enough to be a kingmaker, but just powerful enough to cause a stink about company policies. He's also a repressed prude. I explained that I was on my way out, not just hanging out to work, and stopped to help Becky. Lewis is having none of it. He insists that I either change back to my work clothes or leave the premises immediately. I'm not going to let Lewis push me around, so I apologize to Becky and leave the building. Later on, I learned that night was a deadline for some client deliverables and Lewis's team didn't make it, costing the company the account and lots of money, low 6 digits annually. Lewis was fired for losing the account and for making Becky do a part of the project that she wasn't qualified to do and that he was supposed to do himself. Becky's still with the company and she and I are now paired in a mentorship program. I wish I could say that I jog past Lewis sitting on a bench in the park every evening, but things don't always tie up that neatly. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.